You know, you can't expect to observe the animals without changing anything. It's a scientific impossibility. Of course it is, Malcolm said. That's the greatest single scientific discovery of the 20th century. You can't study anything without changing it. Since Galileo, scientists had adopted the view that they were objective observers of the natural world. That was implicit in every aspect of their behavior, even the way they wrote scientific papers, saying things like, "It was observed," as if nobody had observed it. For 300 years, that impersonal quality was the hallmark of science. Science was objective, and the observer had no influence on the results he or she described. This objectivity made science different from the humanities or from religion, fields where the observer's point of view was integral, where the observer was inextricably mixed up in the results observed. But in the 20th century, that difference had vanished. Scientific objectivity was gone, even at the most fundamental levels. Physicists now knew you couldn't even measure a single subatomic particle without affecting it totally. If you stuck your instruments in to measure a particle's position, you changed its velocity. If you measured its velocity, you changed its position. That basic truth became the Heisenburg uncertainty principle, that whatever you studied, you also changed. In the end, it became clear that all scientists were participants in a participatory universe which did not allow anyone to be a mere observer. "I know objectivity is impossible," Malcolm said impatiently. "I'm not concerned about that." "Then what are you concerned about?" "I'm concerned about the gambler's ruin," Malcolm said, staring at the monitor. Gambler's ruin was a notorious and much debated statistical phenomenon that had major consequences both for evolution and for everyday life. "Let's say you're a gambler," he said, "and you're playing a coin toss game. Every time the coin comes up heads, you win $1. Every time it comes up tails, you lose $1. Okay. What happens over time?" Harding shrugged. "The chances of getting either heads or tails is even, so maybe you win, maybe you lose, but in the end, you'll come out at 0. "Unfortunately, you don't," Malcolm said. "If you gamble long enough, you'll always lose. The gambler is always ruined. That's why casinos stay in business. But the question is, what happens over time? What happens in the period before the gambler is finally ruined?" "Okay," she said. "What happens?" "If you chart the gambler's fortunes over time, what you find is the gambler wins for a period or loses for a period. In other words, everything in the world goes in streaks. It's a real phenomenon, and you see it everywhere, in weather, in river flooding, in baseball, in heart rhythms, in stock markets. Once things go bad, they tend to stay bad. Like the old folk saying that bad things come in threes, complexity theory tells us the folk wisdom is right. Bad things cluster. Things go to hell together. That's the real world." "So what are you saying? That things are going to hell now?" "They could be, thanks to Dodgson."